If you didn't happen to order the life book when you joined, ask your coach how you can access those elements online so you can be digging into those. I just want to give everybody a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, if you have a quick win you would like to share this week. Anybody
Okay,
got
Darlene, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Quick win for me was I recognize I'm an emotional eater, stress eater. And so when I had my very first paper due, found myself cramming down some blue organic corn chips like they were going out of style. And so I recognized it. Number one, that was the first win. And the second win was the next time I had that kind of a stressful feeling, I got up and I took a time out, took a little short walk, played some ball with my dog, and did some deep breathing and came back to it, drank a bunch of water and refocused, and I threw away the rest of the blue corn chips. So yay.
Awesome. Yay. All right. Hey, we all have something to celebrate. We have a new fueling. The golden butterscotch blondie sounds good. Put that in your cart the next time you order. Check it out.
John's got his hand up, Darleen.
Oh, go ahead, John. Didn't see that.
Yeah, my box processes in 3 more days, so I got to. I need to jump in there tonight to get some butterscotch coming. Oh man, yeah. So hey, Cheryl, thanks for sharing. And that's the thing. That's the cool thing about this community. We'll go through. I mean, really the similar things, whether it's our surroundings, our mind, our sleep, our fueling. But anyhow, win for me this week was I've signed up for a course in November that I'm going up near to Blowing Rock, North Carolina. Anybody's been up that way before? It's a dude's course thing. But anyhow, they want us to see about doing in 25 minutes 100 air squats and running 2 miles. So yesterday I set my benchmark. It's right back there, right there. Anyhow, I hit 27 minutes and some change. So not at the 25, but it definitely gave me an idea of where I am and where I need to go to. So anyhow, I did a run walk. I didn't run straight 2 miles, but anyhow, I didn't die. So I was able to do it.
We're glad you didn't die, John. Well done. That's great. All right. We all know Kelly here. We're all connected with Kelly. I just want to mention today is her birthday, and I know she will be watching this. So everybody shout out a big happy birthday to Kelly.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Happy birthday.
Awesome. All right. Before we get into our element tonight, we do have, I have a client who's going to share with us, and his name is John Stoughton, and he and his wife Dawn joined program last April. So little over just about 6 months ago. And when they got, and the reason John has lost 40 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, and Dawn has lost over 30. So they're both doing great. John has actually transitioned, and that's why I'm asking him specifically to share tonight. Before he began, he can correct me if I'm wrong, he loved his work. He was happily married, but there was still something missing. So I'm going to let John tell you about his experience with Optavia.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. And it is nice to be a part of this community. Optavia, it really changed our life in more ways than one. With the weight loss, I mean, we were able to do it together, which is nice. Never really felt like we were really missing out on a whole lot. We did kind of have our fueling spread out further just so we could get that evening snack. Typically, I wasn't an evening snacker. I was more of an evening drinker. And one of the things I had to do was drop the alcohol to do this program. And that made a huge difference, not only physically, but mentally. It's like a fog that was just lifted out of my head. So I've learned to, control that. I definitely don't drink every night like I used to. On the weekends, maybe some, but I could definitely tell the urge isn't there like it used to be. So it pretty much could have been a lifesaver for me all in all. But yeah, dropping 35 pounds and going from a 38 to a 34 waist and walking, around at work and, seeing my friends, they're all just blown away. And, we had a company picnic this last Saturday, and one of the best compliments I got here was someone says, "You look healthy. You look healthy." And Darlene, you seen our pictures, our first photos that we sent of us, we did not look healthy. And Dawn said it best, we looked swollen. And there's just no way I can allow myself to get back to that point. And so now that I'm in the transition, I really am reserved a little bit on how far I'm taking it. So if I know that I stick to the plan still pretty hard, especially seeing how my exercise routine hasn't really, dug in like it should. So, I can't depend on me doing that exercise and to burn calories. So, but all in all, it's just been incredible. Darlene, you've been an amazing coach, that's for sure. I'm in this all the way with Dawn. We still have our lean and green meals in the evening. I never thought I'd like turkey so much, and cabbage and squash and all, but and we find that if we want to go out to dinner with our friends, there's plenty of choices out there. And so, but anyways, it's been a good journey for us. And like I said, it's probably saved my life. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to share that.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you, John, for sharing that. That is incredible. Who would not want to hear you look healthy?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, that leads us right into our topic for the night, creating optimal well-being. So I am going to share my screen here. Give me just a moment. And here we go. All right. So we're all here because we wanted to lose weight and maybe to improve our health. But well-being goes beyond that. And what we're talking about tonight is basically fulfillment. And this is where we anchor our journey. I love Dr. Anderson's quote, living a fulfilling life not only satisfies us emotionally, but has the power to make us more physically vibrant. In fact, without fulfillment, we can't achieve optimal health. So that's a pretty big statement. Fulfillment and optimal health just go hand in hand. And that is why we have Dr. A's Habits of Health Transformational System. It's not just to help us keep the weight off after we lose. It's to help us with all aspects of life. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but if you're planning on losing weight without doing work on your mindset, for example, digging into the life book and joining community, you really are making your journey more difficult for yourself and shortchanging your long-term success. There is a reason why the Habits of Health system is 25% of Dr. A's plan. I'm probably preaching to the choir here because you're on this call. That means you're integrated into the community. But suffice it to say, the Habits of Health helps not just with weight loss, but with optimal well-being too. And we're talking about fulfillment tonight. Fulfillment is alignment with what matters most to you. And you get to decide what that is. And without fulfillment, our lives feel like an uphill battle. So how does the world define success? Usually it's our looks, by how well known we are, how significant we are, how much influence we have. how wealthy we are, the kind of things we have, the cars we drive, the houses we own. That's pretty much how the world defines success. We get bombarded with messages all day long, every day, in the forms of ads and emails and all kinds of messages. And the major goal of each of these is to make us feel inferior and dissatisfied so that we will purchase a product. But those messages get in there. And so we have to counteract that. So how do we define fulfillment? It might be slightly different for everyone, but these things would probably be involved for each of us. Having satisfying personal relationships, personal growth, feeling significant, making a contribution to the community, and it would be alignment with what matters most to you. Have you ever heard anyone say, nah, I don't really need to be fulfilled? That's not generally something you hear. Fulfillment is something that's important to all of us. So we have a little self-test here tonight. Just take out a scrap of paper if you would, and rate yourself on this scale from failure to success, a scale of 1 to 10. Put yourself there on this scale. These are external factors. If you're talking about things like your job, your home, possessions, those external factors that tend to equate success. Put yourself on that scale of 1 to 10, write that down real quick. And then we're going to go to the next slide, which is the depression and fulfillment continuum. Again, it's 1 to 10. Rate yourself and jot it down real quick. A 1 would be, I am so totally depressed, there is no hope. And a 10 would be, life is so good, it can't get any better. So just jot that down. And then we're going to put them together. So if you scored less than a 5 on the failure success scale, you're going to be on the left-hand side of the screen. And if you scored greater than 6 on the depression fulfillment scale, you'll be on the top side. So chart yourself, which quadrant would you be in based on your score? So less than 5 on the depression, I'm not explaining this well. Less than 5 on the depression fulfillment, you would be in the bottom half of the screen. Whoop. Sorry. Greater than 6, you would be at the top half of the screen. So put yourself in one of those quadrants based on your 2 scores. And that will show you about where you are. Now, this is not to make us feel bad about where we are, but just awareness. As a matter of fact, in Dr. Anderson's book, he described where he was before he left his medical practice. And he was in the bottom right-hand quadrant, worn out and successful, but depressed. And then he described the next several years as he left his practice and developed the Habits of Health system and built this great program. So he traveled basically through all 4 quadrants of this scale. We are not always going to feel completely fulfilled. That's just part of life. We're going to transition in and out of these, and that's okay. It's just awareness at this point. The good news is, if you're not happy where you are, you don't have to stay there. You're the one that's in control. Certainly, some things happen that affect our feelings, and we could lose a job or even a family member, and that has a dramatic effect. The main thing is that when we find ourselves unfulfilled, we don't stay stuck, because that's when we can downward spiral, and it just gets worse and worse, where we do end up feeling hopeless. And to get out of that, sometimes we may need a little help, particularly if it's depression. We may need to seek a counselor. If it's a lack of fulfillment, maybe maybe the health coach, your health coach can help you with that, or another type of coach, a life coach. I think our health coach does a lot of that too. Sometimes a doctor would need to be involved. The main thing is recognizing that and being willing to reach out to someone who can help when that's needed. So, what are you doing to find fulfillment and success? This takes intention. It doesn't usually just happen. So, do you have a plan? Another question is, do you know what matters most to you? Some people don't. And if you don't, that's okay. Just spend some time thinking and dreaming. And if your dreamer is broken, kind of like mine was before I started the program, talk to your health coach. Ask them to help you awaken that dreamer. Think about what lights you up, what excites you. When you talk about that topic, you have more energy in your voice. That's probably a pretty good key to something that is closely connected to your fulfillment, something that really matters most to you. I'm a Christian. To me, my relationship with God is vital in my fulfillment. If that's something that you're struggling with, I encourage you to think about that area. But here are some other suggestions for finding what matters most to us. Follow your passion. Again, finding that something that lights you up and engaging in that. Take up a new hobby. Enjoy the arts. If it's a financial issue, go ahead and add some supplemental income. And the very next one, they're paying health forward. Think about becoming a health coach. That can help both with fulfillment and with income. And then taking stock of healthy relationships. For me, gratitude is a big part of fulfillment. If we're really recognizing the things that are good in our life and we're grateful for those, that really does help. And I added the one at the bottom. I think volunteering is a great way to find fulfillment because we really do feel more fulfilled when we are giving back. So think about volunteer opportunities as well. Okay, this is basically the end of our training portion. And this is where we always come to this question. What action are you going to take as a result of this element? It's great to have this information from Dr. A, but if we don't take an action, it's just information. This is where we actually apply it. So we have actually about 10 minutes before we end. I am going to stop share and encourage you to come off mute and tell all of us what you do to increase your fulfillment, or what you're going to do as a result of element 22. Who has something they would like to share?
I'll share. So, as many of you know, Kelly and I, we lived in Live Oak for 5 years. We had moved away after the kids left home. We were empty nesters, and we had a great time over there, but we were kind of lacking in the community area, so we decided to move back to Jacksonville. We hoped that our kids would move back as well, and they actually did, so we all live here locally. But in an effort to build some new community, we have lots of friends here in the local area. I grew up, not too far from where we're living now. But we wanted some new circles, some new community. So we started hosting a disciple group, kind of a Bible study, just about 2 weeks ago here in our house through the church that we attend. And we had like 20 people who signed up. We didn't know a single one of them. 13 showed up the first time. And it's been pretty cool. Most of them are quite a bit younger than we are, so that's really neat. But you got to take, like Darleen said, you have to take action. And we actually finally just went to the church, did a little class, and they put us out there, and now we're doing it. So it's been pretty cool.
Awesome. How many people found that just being on plan increased your sense of well-being? Absolutely. Who else has something they would like to share? It doesn't have to be big, just, oh, okay, that's a thumbs up, not a hand. Go ahead. Brenda?
Okay, so I just wanted to say, for my mental clarity, I like to get out and do hiking. And I go hiking with my dog and just out in nature, and just feels so good just to be out there in God's, just soaking up the beauty and soaking up the sun when the sun's shining. And it just really helps me with my emotions and mental clarity. So, and then I always have my fuelings along too, just because, if I decide to be out longer, sometimes I'll go for a couple-hour hike. And so I always make sure I have one tucked inside my pocket. And yeah, so such a blessing.
Yes. And when Brenda says she hikes, she hikes. She's a beast. Okay, do have a couple more raised hands. Sarah?
I own my own business. It is Create the Spark. And so it is a spiritual business. I align the soul of one's business with the business of their soul. And so when doing this graph, it was emotional for me because I realized that I'm thriving and fulfilled in all sorts of areas. Having the opportunity to be on plan was definitely a godsend to me. And but being very intentional, like with the meal planning, fuelings, but then in the morning being very intentional with, I listen to Abraham Hicks. It's a really good day, and it's a morning rampage, and it's just like talking about all the other good things that are happening throughout the day. It's only 10 minutes, but then I do my own yoga flow. So like doing something that is very intentional and consistent and doesn't take up much time has really helped with my own fulfillment.
Great. I love that. Mary Beth.
So, excuse the cough. So I have COVID right now, take 2. So first of all, I stayed on plan for the entire week. I was sick. I was pretty happy with that. Yay. But so for me, like Sarah said, I was filling out that chart. And if you would have asked me, so tomorrow I'll be 3 weeks on program. So if you asked me a month ago to fill that out, I would have felt very fulfilled or successful in my business. I own a business. You'll see my name is showing up there because I'm on Zooms all day with my job. I own a travel agency. So I'm very fulfilled. Travel is very busy right now and I'm very happy. But if you would have asked me about the depression part of it, and I'm not a depressed type of person. I'm not diagnosed with depression. You get blue. But if you would have asked me a month ago, I would have been in a really dark place. Because I had sludge moving through my veins. I was eating like I was going to the electric chair. And so when I made my little inbox in Facebook to Cheryl, my coach, I just said, I need help. Like I knew I needed help, but I reached out. And when I'll show you, I don't know if you can see it, probably not because my background. I filled out that thing and the depression part was a 9 this time because I am that far away from being that blue because I feel like I don't feel like a big bloat. I feel like I'm in control of what I'm doing, which I felt completely out of control with my eating. So it just feels good. So I feel like looking at that chart to be in that upper quadrant, and it's not going to always stay like that. I'm sure everybody has, but that was like shocking to me. I've never done something like that before. And that was motivating and shocking. That's
Wow. That's incredible.
Bravo, Mary
Yes,
Beth.
absolutely. Yes. Keep it up. Keep going. Awesome. Awesome. Who else? I don't know if you're reading the chat, Mary Beth, but John Jackson says, if you're not a coach, I think you're coaching now. Oh, isn't it amazing how just nutrition can make us feel emotionally different? Amazing. Yeah. Big part of fulfillment.
John's got his hand up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Mary Beth, man, it's so good to meet you. And you know what, girl, you're glowing. So if you're 3 weeks into this thing, we didn't know you 4 weeks ago. Maybe, I think you said Cheryl, man, Cheryl's your coach.
Yeah, Cheryl. Yeah, she knew me.
You talking about
We
Cheryl?
met
Pease?
on
Oh, yeah.
vacation.
Oh yeah. We
We
love
met on
Cheryl.
vacation.
Cheryl's like family now. But really, I mean, think about it. Just like I need help, whatever you said you asked. And you know, there's other people on your street, on your block, in your church, at your synagogue, and they're right there. Will they? But anyhow, I'm just happy to meet you and can't wait to meet you in person and just thrilled
Thank
that,
you.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we all put our shoes on one at a time. We've all got that depression or that hard day or that, but then we've got, man, you're 3 weeks in and you get the sludge is going out, the light's coming in, and that's good. And Darleen, you are an amazing teacher. I don't know what you do full time, but girl, you're the teacher.
Oh, thank you. Hey, it's great material. Can't go wrong. All right. Okay, well, my alarm just said it's 8:30, so I am going to let everybody go. But please, if you are in the path of Hurricane Ian, please stay safe. And next week, we'll be doing element 23. So please join us again at 8 o'clock next Monday. Have
Good
a
night,
great
everyone.
week.
Thank you, Darlene.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.